Are we ready?
Yes.
Good morning, FYI.
Good
family.
morning.
It is Thursday.
Yes, it is.
21st day
Yes.
of April, and we're happy to be joining you. Full house this morning.
Full house.
Full house this morning. Doretta's back.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Sharon
yeah.
is here.
Yeah,
Rose.
I'm there.
But
Oh
good
my
morning,
goodness.
guys. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday. Let's
Yeah.
know where you're joining us from. Let's know what the weather is like
Yeah,
in
we wanna
your
know.
neck of
You want
the
to
woods.
know what they're having for breakfast? All the business.
What are you having for breakfast?
Everything we want to know. Everything.
You know,
everything.
we are with TIT.
Yeah.
But this is about it, you know. I don't think we have a choice. Self-imposed.
Because we eat very nasty. So we gotta,
We can't do it in front
yeah,
of you.
yeah.
Oh
But
Lord.
it's
Not
good-
when we have guests.
It's good
When we
to
have
see
guests.
you guys, Shakira Phillips and Gavin Liverpool.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning, Isabella Butters and
Isabella.
Marilyn Thompson says good
Mhm,
morning to
mhm.
FYI family.
Good morning, Marilyn. Good morning, Marilyn.
My skin is hot already.
You just said. Yeah, she's hot like that.
Oh my
What's
goodness.
going on? We can have the conversation
Yes.
just now.
No,
Nicole
flashes.
December and
It's hot flashes. I think this is old age, you know. Got to be old age.
Kenneth Rampal.
Yeah,
Good morning to
yeah,
you guys.
yeah.
I see Pinky Carris there.
Nicole
Good morning.
December, Gavin Liverpool. Lovely people.
Good
Hey,
morning. Let's know where
guys.
you're watching us from
Yeah.
as well. Let's know where you're
I see
tuning in
Marilyn
from.
says she's joining from Queens this morning on Blessed Morning. Beatrice,
Yeah.
hey Beatrice, listen, Beatrice was
is
in the house
always
10 minutes to
Yeah.
8. 10
Ready.
minutes to 8.
Ready like a ready soldier.
Mhm.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Beatrice says good morning, FYI family, especially Amanda Durrett and Sharon. I love you all. We love you too, Beatrice. Thank
We
you
love
so
back
much.
to you.
We
We
love
love
you.
back
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. Kenneth Rampal says you guys in high spirits after all. Look, Kenneth, we
Yeah.
are alive.
Yeah.
We don't have
It
that
Woke up this
too.
morning.
but you
Yeah.
know, we thank God.
Yeah.
Our
Brought
two
us thus
eyes
far.
were open. And
But
Kenneth's
for the
in
good
Long
today.
Island. Long Island here.
Yeah.
Kenneth is joining
Yeah.
us
Good
all
to
the way.
see you,
Christopher,
Kenneth. Good to hear from you.
well, we have two folks from Long Island. Christopher also.
Paul is
Yep.
from Long Island. Hey,
Oh, wow.
Christopher.
Wow.
The Long Islanders are here this morning.
Take over.
Shakira said we need a bigger table.
Take over.
Well, you know, right?
No, we try to be, in close proximity
Yeah.
and keep it.
To
The-
you,
the
Billy,
funds,
take
the
us
funds, the
further.
funds.
Yeah.
Forward,
Yeah.
I think the
so-
funds, right?
Huh?
The funds, the
Oh,
funds.
yeah. Help me out, the man. Help me out, the man. Help me out, the Shakira. You know this story today. Right?
Smash the
Hey,
emoji
hold on,
button.
brother. Come on, Teresa. Come on, Teresa. It's your morning, Teresa. Come on.
As we were saying,
Moving on.
you know, a
moving
good
on.
morning.
Yeah.
I'll surprise them, boo. Don't worry.
I see what it is.
A good morning. A
Hold
good
on a breath, hold
morning.
on a
I see
breath.
Carol Jonas is joining us from French Guiana this morning. Dave Durrell joining us from New Jersey.
Mhm.
But you know, Beatrice
Yeah.
is from Queens. Who don't know Beatrice is
Yeah.
from Queens? Don't
They're
frequent
not-
this
they're not part of
program.
the FYI family.
Don't come wrong, Beatrice, funny. Don't come wrong, Beatrice, funny.
Oh, Jennifer is from Grenada.
Oh,
One of
lovely.
my absolute favorite islands.
Wow,
Jennifer.
wow.
Love.
I see
love
Alexis
Grenada.
Williams is sunny here in Barbados. You know, I got a
Wow.
link with Alexis.
Yeah,
You link with Alexis.
I got a link with Alexis.
Yeah.
Should we tell them?
I'm gonna link with you.
Should we tell them?
You should.
So Julia is gonna be in Barbados next week. She's gonna be joining us from Barbados.
Yeah.
We big like that. We
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
move
yeah.
in.
We're going international.
We're real international.
You
So
see?
Julia is gonna go with Barbados. So whoever y'all got to send
Frags.
link Julia
Inbox, Joretta.
inbox Julia. Julia's gonna be in Barbados next week for a couple of days. She's gonna be joining us from there.
Good morning,
It's a
Quasi.
business.
We see
Yeah,
Quasi
yeah.
Williams. Kenneth says he'll be visiting soon.
I
Hope to
see
us guys.
empty barrels.
Empty barrels. Who's saying?
Empty.
Oh.
So that's Rouge. He didn't come on.
Sarju.
He-
Sarju.
Oh.
He
Talk
didn't
to him
come
first,
on.
man.
He didn't
Sarju.
come on.
Let the
Are
man
you
talk to
not
him.
happy to be alive
Actually, I
this
was
morning?
looking. I missed you yesterday. I have to say, no, I'm
You were
serious.
looking for Sarju.
I was looking for him yesterday, but I didn't
Sarju.
see him yesterday.
Sarju, let me speak to you. You know
Talk
you
to
have a
him, talk to
choice, right?
Talk to
You
him.
know that you don't have to wake up this morning and be toxic.
Mm.
You do know that. You do know you can
Talk
choose
to
to
him.
say good morning, FYI family.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yes.
Man, you're alive today, Sarju. There's so many people who didn't get that opportunity. Why come and be bitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there, you know,
Sarge, you sound like you need a virtual hug.
actually,
We're sending virtual hugs to you, Sarge.
All about yourself.
actually, what I can say about him, you know, every family got the one.
He's the one in the FYI family.
He's the
He
one.
is our
That's
one.
The black sheep. The black sheep.
We ain't giving you up, Sarge.
No,
The
but-
black belly sheep up there.
But seriously, I was looking for him yesterday because I know he usually frequents the program. So
Mhm.
I'm glad to see him here this morning.
It
Because
means that he's alive
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's well
yeah.
and he's in good health.
I was
a
So
little
we're happy
worried.
to see you, Sarge.
Yeah.
Marlon Thomas, how are you? Don Sullivan, how are you going this morning? Well, Don Sullivan is joining us from Bachelor's Adventure.
I should have that piece of time. I move out now.
So Beirut in the house.
Yes.
I'm married out. I used to let a piece of
A
time.
piece of time.
Bachelor's Adventure.
You probably
I'm married out now.
you are all wrong.
I'm married out. So long, Bachelor's Adventure.
Oh my gosh, Doreen Clarkson,
So
she's
long.
looking at us from Delaware. She's
Oh,
in
wow.
Maine, she's on spring break.
That's Joe
Beautiful,
Biden's
Doreen.
state,
Pamela
Delaware.
says, I must look for her in Bridgestone. I must have
Mhm.
something to send, okay?
Yes. Link.
Niceness.
Oh my goodness.
Link. Wink and link.
Winkle.
Good to see all these fantastic folks.
But it's really good for
Yeah,
you to be here
yeah,
with us,
yeah.
guys. There's a lot going on in the world.
A lot
and
of
we're gonna
things.
get to cover some of them.
A lot of things.
Both
Some
at
interesting
home.
things, man.
I mean,
I need the legal
Look,
insight.
I think so too, you know. I think we could start the morning off with,
Yeah,
with actually seeking some of those guidance. I
Yeah.
see Joy Kosha with us. Guys, is it
Joy says she's from Montreal. Oh, Montreal, Joy.
oh
You
yes.
live in one of the most beautiful
Mhm.
cities, I swear.
Lee
Montreal.
Jacobs.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Dallas.
Lee's in Dallas.
I see the Bronx, Edward Gonzalez there also.
Yeah.
BVI.
That's
in
the
the
only
house.
thing Edward says. Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx. I don't know if the comments on stick, but that's the only thing he ever says. Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx. Everything is Bronx. Cool in the Bronx. From the Bronx. Bronx is on the end.
Oh my
Cool in the
God.
Bronx. Hot in the Bronx. Cool in the Bronx. Eating in the Bronx. I don't know, man. Very proud of the Bronx.
Guys,
Shout out to Manus, all the other Bronx.
Yes, and remember to share,
Share.
guys.
Share and
Thank you,
smash.
emoji emoji.
Come to the street.
What they said, what they said,
Join with us.
what shared with my, what I said, what they displayed, you know what you have to do. Look,
Share.
I see Paul
Share.
Hendricks is joining us from Letem. Now, I heard a little bias,
Oh,
right?
Letem.
When region 8 and region 9
Yeah.
and region
Our
1, and
brothers
so
and
it's in,
sisters
it's
there.
in the, because I know the difficulty there is sometimes with internet connectivity.
Mhm.
So when I see persons joining from these areas, I'm so glad, I'm so happy that they are able to join us. And like I told you, Region 9 specifically sent a message to you saying that they have been watching and they love the morning program,
Yeah.
and
We
so
love
they're
them
happy to
too.
have you.
We got them, Kathy.
We love back to them.
That's what
Thank
I'm
you, Kelly,
thinking too.
with the ITC hubs.
We
Yep.
got them, Kathy. Use for these
Thank you.
ICT
Thank
hubs.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I know some areas there were complaints that persons were turning it off at a specific time and so on.
Mhm.
That's why,
Like 8 o'clock in the morning and
you
8
know,
in the night,
right?
is it?
Yep. The
That's
8
at
in the night
specific time.
specifically, you
Specific
know.
Yeah,
I
different.
was in Wiki Calcuni the other day, and I had internet connectivity.
Mm.
You know, they were proud to say, you know, it was the David Granger administration that allowed them to have
Yeah.
the hub, and it's powered by solar. And
I thought you knew nothing. I thought you didn't know nothing. I was just sitting on fold with hands for 5 years.
all evidence to the contrary.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Good to see all of these wonderful folks here with us. Amabel Clement. Amabel, I ain't seen you for a little while. Wherever you owe me, I forgive you though. Come around more often. Wherever you owe me. Wilson France and Deborah Clark. Deborah Johnson from Barbados. Deborah Judy coming to Barbados next week. Look out for her. Right? Whatever things you got to send.
You know, I gotta
Link
go
up.
and link with some of the folks there, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spice Man. Oh, Spice Man is here, you
Yeah.
know. Manzi, you missed this whole discussion. A special good morning to the ladies
On the
on
panel
panel
only.
only.
So,
I know I got some things right there swirling in my head. But let me carry on. Hello, Spice Man. We different.
Kid Down is
Right?
good morning from Barbados. I think the
Wilson,
Barbados
France?
family is actually a
From
large
Caribbean?
family.
right?
People,
I
quarantine people. Good morning.
Sherry
Nelson France.
Baskin, Grenade watching from Barbados. It's
Sherry,
a
she
whole,
come in.
Listen,
Listen,
it's
I
a
think
whole
you
Truly
crew.
come in.
We need to do an FYI in Barbie.
Yes,
we are going to.
definitely,
We are going to.
definitely.
I'm not seeing our friend from the Democratic Republic of
Of
Linden.
Linden. He
Oh
did
my
sign in
goodness.
this morning.
My goodness.
But
Who
you
watching
know,
from Linden? Where we
You gotta
Linden
watch
folks
and
there?
see if Linden
The
got proper
Democratic
internet.
Republic of Linden. Folks, smash the emoji button. We want to see those emojis going up, and we want to see those shares going up as well. Maxine Monroe, have you smashed that emoji button yet? Have you shared the live
See
stream?
Maxine
Morris
on
Alvino.
fire. Maxine,
You know,
I
it's
endorse
important that-
Maxine.
it's important that they know that we engage in this.
Yes.
They give people an opportunity to share the live
Yeah.
stream before we
Yeah.
get into the serious and pressing issues, so that as many people as possible can get in on good, valid, credible information.
You know the
So
highlight.
we're waiting on you all.
Yes.
Pick up the
To get
pace.
to the desired number.
Pick up the
Facebook
pace.
user said Linden/US. So that's what I saw. I didn't really notice the comments went by.
Yeah.
But you know, I was about to say that it's so the highlight of our morning is to actually interact with the folks that are joining us, because listen, if we are to just deal with the depression that comes through the news, it's going to be crazy. So it brings us great joy, and it's a highlight for us to actually interact with you. I see
the Lindeners are here.
yes.
Campton, we see you, Campton. We see you, Campton.
I see it who born in Linden, who watch it from Linden, who grandmothers from Linden. You know, Linden people coming through.
Shortville.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, Shortville.
Wow.
I went to Shortville Secondary. For
Watching
those
from
of you
Florida.
who don't know,
Yvonne
Really?
Yes.
DeWeaver. Yvonne
That's
DeWeaver.
interesting.
From Florida, watching us in Florida, all over the world.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
welcome to International
Very
Money Program.
I actually went to Shortville Secondary for 2 years, second and third. I met one of my best friends there at Shortville Secondary School. So
Well, not everybody.
good people. Who?
Let me just drink a little tea.
Who?
Who's
I was just checking to see if everybody.
That was iFlood.
Right next door.
It's next
That was
door.
next door, right?
That was
Next
next
door.
door. I didn't have to
Get
go
the
that
majority
far.
of villages next.
Thankfully, you know.
Alana Tang from Matthews Ridge, please and thank you.
Yes,
Wow.
Matthews Ridge is in the
Alana Tang
house.
from Matthews
You
Ridge.
know, since we're talking about, I lived in Matthews Ridge for
Of
a little bit
course.
when I was a baby.
Mhm.
I saw that guy and he's all scores.
Yeah.
My
That was Sleepy Guy.
My father's parents are from Matthews
From
Ridge.
Matthews Ridge.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
lived in
yeah,
Matthews
yeah.
Ridge from the time I was maybe 6 months to a year and 6 months.
Mm.
Is there a this fortitude from?
You get cow, you get a cow milk and so
My
on.
father was at the base.
The base,
there,
yeah.
the military base, and my mother used to teach there as well. So you know,
Mm.
That's why you so well wrong there.
yeah.
Well put together.
I've been a couple of places.
You've been
Yeah.
wrong. You've been wrong a little bit. Been wrong a little bit.
You see, Doreen Clark, I was born in Bartica, but I don't know anything about Bartica. I would
You
like
gotta
to
come
have
back.
a tour
Doreen,
where
when
I
you
visit.
come,
Yeah,
Doretta,
Link
Doretta
up.
will-
Anything
We can fix
Bartica. I'd carry you. First Avenue, right
We
through.
can fix you. You don't worry about that.
Right through.
Right? We got you.
Every crack
Right?
and corner.
And
I
you're
know
going to
it.
tour the studios. Paul Rogers from Savannah.
So we have
Savannah, Georgia, believe it or not.
Zambia is in the house this morning again.
Mhm.
Right?
Zambia.
Rayon Pile from
Mhm.
Zambia.
Zambia.
Kakwani, Berbice River,
Mhm.
and Delon Fields. Kakwani, you know, we all Kakwani a trip, you know. We have to go to
I was
Kakwani.
there the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I was
I
looking.
plan on going there in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at the not the interview, the statement that young lady put out with the national news issue, and she
And
said
she says she's from Kakwani, yes.
and I take a look at it and said, well, you got some proper people from Kakwani.
Yeah.
Region 10.
My sister-in-law is actually
Region
from
10.
Kakwani
See the
also.
lady with her nice dog
Brilliant,
there and so on.
brilliant.
I take a look at Big Auntie.
You know it's overseas.
That's a nice one. No, but still, I said,
I
said, Big Auntie
You know,
proper.
yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dina Wright.
Well, it was good, right?
He said it has the most beautiful smile, you know.
Aw.
I know at least
Hold on,
one.
focus,
I
the
know
man.
at
Shut
least one other
Hold on,
person
focus.
would
Here we
agree.
talking about Kakwani.
I see
You
Mr.
got now.
Prince Holder is
Hold on,
watching
focus,
from
Simon.
Region 2. Hey, Mr.
Mm-hmm,
Holder.
mm-hmm.
Hope you're doing
Oxford,
well.
England in the house. Natalia, I beg your pardon.
And the Cassie Ruth is saying, Sherrod, you look like a cooked meal. Somebody ready to eat you this morning.
I really will label myself here, I can tell you. I can take one with the team. Ready will label, I can tell you. I can take one for the team. Manhattan in
Excellent.
the house, please and thank you.
I think we got auction y'all.
Mm.
Just I
I
got
can
ask
see high
wifey.
price.
No, I got ask wifey
As soon as,
permission.
as soon as we get clearance,
I take it one
Yep.
for the team. Bills gotta pay. The lady got live in a house. You think the light bill is paid itself?
Oh my goodness. Because the price is
Like,
like carry a
I'm
little
telling
price.
you, what's a special little price. Couple more mornings, I enable it. The time is scoping here. Scoping.
Oh my
Scoping.
goodness.
Hope you guys are great. Hope you guys. What's in the morning papers? That's where we started.
Well, the first thing I want to say that when we started now this
Yeah.
morning, I came across a piece of online reporting from one of the online media houses I found most interesting. I think it was
Tell me.
Daily News that actually was reporting this, and I have to say it was something that I'm glad Amanda is here this morning to weigh in on the legality of certain things right now. Because it says that the headline read Gafour's reportedly tells worker relative that men went to kill her father and not to rob them. And I want to get into this story
Sounds interesting.
in particular, right? Because
men went to rob when they killed their father. There's a security guard.
when to kill, they're telling this man's daughter. Well, let me just get into the story, guys. Right? It's saying that Derek Hans Raj, a 52-year security guard, he was actually there at Gafour's at it was Easter Monday at around 1 a.m. in the morning. 4 masked men attacked him
At work.
at work. He was at work, right? 4 masked men attacked. They said they had cutlass. He said, I was on duty at the land of Canaan, and about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was attacked by 4 men who wrapped up their face. When they attacked me, I was sitting at my desk, and they threw me off my chair, and they started chopping me just so, and they were telling me something, but I didn't understand what they were saying. He said they had cutlass, and he said for safety, he always carry a knife with him. So he pulled a knife and tried to defend himself. He said he managed to bore 2 of the men and then use his radio and start, as being quoted here, holler for more the thief, and they run away. He said, if I didn't pull my knife, I would have been a dead man. But the whole thing to the story is that it was established. He was at work. He said he was at his desk when these persons came and attacked him. However, as it is for you further go into the story, they're saying now that, hold on, I want to get the direct quotation.
Wow.
This is so interesting.
Wow. So he's attacked on the job, and they say it's not us. It's you that are after these 4 masked men that chop you up on the work.
Basically.
Yeah.
Good. So as it goes on to say, I want to quote directly what is being said here, right? The daughter is saying that I was there at a meeting this morning, and that was, I think it was like over 24 hours ago this morning, and they told me that the 4 men did not come to rob Gafour's. They came to kill my father, and Gafour's is not involved. They told me if I don't take down the post from the news, they will take away all of his benefits and fire him. Currently, we are seeking legal advice from lawyers. My father can't walk. They told me it has nothing to do with Gafour's. They didn't break into Gafour's, and he should have run for his life.
I'm taking at the back a little bit. I'm taking to the back. Wow. 4 men attacked the security
she's doing
guard.
the right thing though, getting legal advice, because that's
What a story.
he was on the job.
He was on the job.
He was
He
on
attacked
his
my
job.
father.
Conduct their own investigations.
Well,
Were the 4 men apprehended?
well, not according to any reports that's coming
So
out.
how would they know that he was there to kill
The security
the
guard.
security guard and not rob?
And not rob Gafour's.
But I think what was said, I think by some more of the report says the judge, I think, said that her father, walks to work or rides to work. Anybody could attack you any part
No,
of the
actually,
road.
he was saying that. It's a
Yeah.
Hans Raj. It's additionally Hans Raj. After learning what his employers said, he added, he said if people wanted to attack me, they would have attacked me on the road or when I'm going home. Me ain't got no enemy. They wouldn't have to jump a company fence that has all the cameras and everything to come. So they, Gafour's, just lying and making up things. And if they could do this to me, they could do it to others. That's what he's saying.
Well, I think, like I said, the family is on the right track. You have
Yeah.
to get legal representation because has Gafour's issued an official statement now?
Well, I have seen none of that, but I do know that like I'm saying, I'm quoting directly this morning from the report that is online from Guyana Daily News. Well, Daily News Guyana, as it is here, and
Very interesting.
and they would have put out an initial report after he was attacked. Also,
Well, that is very interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to monitor it to see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very
Because
interesting.
there are more questions than answers at this.
You're
at
attacked
this
on the
point.
job, and somebody said, and as a security guard, and they say, "Oh, they came to kill you. They didn't
They
come to rob the
rob
company.
us.
You should have run for your you run for your life for me.
Of course.
You should have run for your life." And then when you run for your
Well,
life and
but
break in the
again-
company,
again,
another story.
This is what is alleged that Gafour
Yeah.
has said.
Yeah.
So we want to see an
Yeah.
official statement from
Yeah.
Gafour. We
Yeah.
wanna be able
yeah,
to
because
balance
that's
it
what
out.
the
I like to
daughter
hear- I like to
that's what the
hear
daughter
both
is
sides.
saying, you know.
Mhm.
So
I like to
How old
hear
you are?
both sides.
Wow.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Run
I
for
hope,
your
I
life.
hope that he is recovering well and that there are no long-term
Yeah.
effects
Yeah.
from the attack.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
That could be very traumatic.
it is very,
Run for your
very.
life. Run for your life. That being said, what else we got in morning?
Well, as we look at the morning papers, one of the things that's on the front page of the morning papers, the president to invite Norton to talks on constitutional appointments.
Wow.
Good.
Right.
Good progress. It's about time.
It is time.
It is about time.
It is time. It's a
And
good
we
time.
hope that these talks progress with good faith.
Yeah.
Because inviting people to talk is one thing, and then seeing it through
Yeah.
in good faith is a completely different issue.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we've had issues in the past with
Yeah.
leaders meeting and not being able to arrive at consensus because bad faith creeps in. So it's a hopeful development, but we'll monitor it and see how it unfolds.
Very
But very
time
very
sensitive.
Indeed.
That's what I can. That's what I want to add.
Indeed.
There are other things circulating in the media
Timing
as
is
well.
quite
So the timing
interesting.
is quite interesting
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that
yeah.
development to
Yeah.
come along.
U.S.
you know?
Secretary of State coming in June.
Yes.
Blinken, Anthony
Mr.
Blinken.
Blinken.
It's gonna be here.
Yeah.
There's lots of cleaning up happening. People being moved off the East Bank corridor there. They want no vending.
Mhm.
know-
Road opening with Jumpy Board and Karen Crow as symbol. A lot of things happening. A lot of things happening. I take a look at the board recently. That board different. That board.
I do not understand why the government, hearing such a hue and cry from a wide cross section of society, why don't they just take it down?
Amanda, they you and cry about meeting with the leader of the opposition 2 years now.
Like
It's now.
take it down.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with saying,
Yeah.
we failed. It
Yeah.
didn't come out the way we wanted to, and course correct.
Yeah.
But this is the stiff-necked attitude of
That's
this administration.
big board, right? The board looks scared to like the board feeling them impalement. The board I open big so watch. The board just different boy. Must take a look at the board eyes like hard times. The board said this economy here. Nothing.
I would say, guys, you're driving, you have to go
Yes.
around the roundabout to take
Yeah.
to make your way to Eccles. Don't look at the bird. Don't look at
You
the
know,
bird.
quite strangely.
No.
You know, Guyanese, us Guyanese, we are never see comfy. And soon as they got a little attraction, for instance, when they had the I love you Guyana sign, everybody gone, photo up. Me see nobody. I ain't see one person go posted by this monument to take out the selfie. Not one. That bird, that's the first bird like a Karen Crow.
They need
Scared
to
away.
remove it. No, on
Scared
a
away.
serious note,
Yeah.
They need to remove it. I mean, you tried, it didn't work. Move it.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, course correct. And
The oil producing Republic of Guyana deserve better.
That bird, I yellow like his he got
Chocolates.
that bird just different, boy. That bird just different.
It's a fit for me.
Like, I know that some like it was a corn farm or something at the back. It's like a scarecrow. I bright scarecrow. I didn't see one person on post with a selfie saying, "Hey, I'll see the hotline here, Victorian." None of the birds scared away everybody. That bird. That bird. I know what's quite strange. I saw Irfan Ali with a kite easily. Look like a replica board. Board. This board got memorabilia now. And let's call it. Let's call it merch. The board got merch. That board different. Board eye open wide. John just watching you. I don't know. We got easy sugar with that board.
Oh my goodness.
Something gives you jaundice, folks. Something. I don't know. Whatever it is. But that board.
We thank God for life. We thank God
You know,
for life and the ability to laugh.
Further down the road there, man. So a man rolled off the road yesterday.
Far up the road.
Further down the new road, but the board is the icon.
Ran off the road.
I said the man missed a good spot. If you can run off the road. You pass the whole ugly board. You can look around the road till down the line. If you can miss your mark, do me a favor in this country. Take one for the team. Not one selfie in the board be seen. I can be the first person, man.
I'm sure.
I can be the first. I want to. Let's jump big board. Thanks. Moving on, folks. Moving on. I hope we get there. Let's talk about board. You distracted me here this thing. We're in the morning papers. Good.
The last thing I said was the president invite Norton to talk on
I
constitutional
hope Norton
reform.
raised the jumping board with the president. I hope. That should be foremost. Foremost in national issue. Chief, we got to send me this board. This board scared away investors. Chief, we got to send me this board. Whatever constitutional appointment you want, I can sign up. We got to send me this board. The bird is the bird tree. How we get there? We're going on the line.
No, but this
Yeah.
issue of the constitutional appointment, I mean, I laugh. And I was telling I'm genuinely laughing because my eyes tear up. This issue of constitutional appointment, it's really, it's really overdue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like I said, I look forward to good faith.
Yeah.
I noticed that the NRF board has been appointed. I think we could have done better. That's my honest view in terms of the candidates. Not that I have a problem with any of them, but certainly
I got a problem.
They're younger, people.
Like, when is enough for Joe Singh?
They're
Like,
younger Guyanese
Yes,
who,
I love Joe Singh, but like, when is enough?
yeah, it's a gentleman that I respect tremendously. I mean, his knowledge is, if you sit with him, but in terms of investment and portfolio, there are a number of young, Guyanese who are overseas. I noticed David Lammy, the UK parliamentarian,
Who you met recently?
yes, that I had the opportunity to meet recently, is on the board. But there are a number of young Guyanese overseas with tremendous experience. There's this lady, Ashai Pompey or Ashai. I'm not sure how her first name is pronounced. Pompey. She's Guyanese and she's at Goldman Sachs, the top investment bank in the world. Why not tap into that type of talent?
Maybe you don't want somebody who's knowledgeable about that kind of thing.
Yeah, because this is our NRF. This is the Natural Resource Fund, and we will need people that have an idea about how these things go. So I thought that he could have done a better job. I thought as well that the gender balance could have been better. I'm not sure how au fait Caroline Rodriguez is in terms of investment and whether that is her strong point, but certainly I think another female could have been on the panel. But it is what it is. We will have to see how they will work and take
That's
it from there.
that's not a direction that I support. I can honestly say this is not a direction I support. I think like we all agreeing that you need new faces, younger blood to be a part of this now. Come on, man.
Yes, and then people who are more exposed. I mean, we're talking about managing our sovereign wealth and recycling some people. Again, no.
Karen Rodriguez, that was a little surprise to me.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I like I said, and I named a few candidates that we could have looked at.
Yeah.
Guyanese who I'm sure would be happy to help to serve in that capacity. So, but
And there are some rumors out there that Karen wanted to walk away from the PP quite recently. There was a big fiasco at the UN when Irfan visited last with Karen Rodriguez, and there was lots of rumors that she had resigned As a matter
Yes,
of
I
fact,
recall hearing that.
this is one of the things to say. Stay with us, you know.
Well, she
This is
is
kind of
she's a professional. I mean, I've had the opportunity to interact with her. She's
Yeah.
certainly knowledgeable in her field.
Mhm.
I don't know how that translates into
Mhm.
managing our natural resources fund, but we'll see. We'll see how it
Mhm.
goes. We'll see how it goes.
Definitely. Listen. So that's enough.
Yes,
Well
and
said.
I want to say I think we have to offer our condolences to businessman Kat Scan, who passed away suddenly
Mr.
at
Khan.
69 years
Yes,
old.
yes, and his
Kat
family.
Scan.
I've known him since I was a little child. He was a very
Wow.
good he was a very good friend of my parents. Always very jovial. That was the one thing that I remember about him. I always had an encouraging word, and so it really is a tremendous loss to the PNC and to his family, because he really was. He was a good man.
Yeah, because I'm looking on social media in particular, I'm seeing like everyone, like there isn't one person that is of a certain stature in society that is not saying, this is somebody that was great.
Yeah, and he
Did good work.
He had a mentoring spirit. That's what I liked about him, and it's something that's rare. He really set out to mentor the younger folks, and like I said, always had an encouraging word. So, our condolences to his family, and to the PNCR, the party to which he belonged and served faithfully, for all of his life, I believe. And he will certainly be missed.
Definitely.
Certainly be missed.
Definitely. But as we move forward on the international front, share, let's take it through the international front.
Where we there? What's the first thing?
International front.
Yeah.
Well,
So what's
guys, the first thing I want to speak about is the fact that there is an outcry as Shanghai sends vulnerable senior citizens into makeshift quarantine camps at this point in time. And I was going through a lot of those things this morning, and what I can say is that it seems like a different time, an era right there in Shanghai, how they're dealing with, in 2022, how they're dealing with COVID and any
the hyper serious.
yeah, it's
spread.
crazy. Because these reports are basically saying that they are breaking down persons' door, literally going into senior citizens' home. You see, look, as being reported here on CNN, it says the men came after 2 a.m. on Tuesday in the dead of night, banging on the apartment door in a rundown housing complex in Shanghai. When nobody answered, they pried open the lock and barged in.
Wow.
And they taken a 92-year-old woman from her bed.
But I want to think
They're
it's
different
over
there.
caution. It's overcautious.
My goodness.
Because if you understand the population size,
Yes.
if you allow something to get a pandemic get a foothold there,
Wow.
yeah. So I think it's
So
over
that is-
caution.
that
But still,
is- that is-
there's still
that's a bit
a
extreme.
humanity.
It's
Still a
almost-
humanity.
Sounds a bit extreme.
Well, we will be definitely getting
We
some
have to follow
footage
it,
on
yeah.
how that has been
Yeah,
handled,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm going to some footage, but I'm just trying to make sure that we bring you guys, we like to bring you credible information. So we want to make sure that the footage that we're getting are from extremely credible sources, because there's several sources of footage of what these makeshift quarantine tents are like and all of those things. But some of them I want to disbelieve myself. So I'm trying to get it from a credible source. If I'm seeing a CNN or a BBC, Al Jazeera putting it out, then I'll say, oh well, I can see this is as credible as it gets. But
So
right now, I'm still questioning some of the sources.
We're
So
gonna have to follow that up. Yeah, but that is-
Sharon,
that is-
I'm not gonna pretend Sharon didn't say that.
Did you say critic?
Yes, he did.
All the focus.
Yes.
What's in this tea?
I don't know. The tea has
Something in this
something. The
tea
tea
this
has
morning.
something. ASAP Rocky detained at LA airport in connection with a November
A$AP Rocky,
2021 shooting.
Oh, we had a child father.
You just pretended you don't know.
We had a child father, man.
Yeah.
Put some people understand, man. A$AP Rocky.
Something like
Who's A$AP Rocky?
Oh my goodness.
We had a child father.
So, guys, this is a person that are saying. I think there was a shooting and someone, a bullet grazed someone back in November of 2021.
Oh, you know, Jessica.
And that he was said to be the suspect in that particular matter. And it's just strange to me that in April of this year is when they're actually arresting him. But he's out on he's out on bail. At the moment, I think he had to pay a bail of 500 and something thousand, if I'm not mistaken.
Some like a
Yes, I've got
sounds
your
like a
money,
first world
buddy.
problem to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
we got enough stress over
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But a lot
Yeah.
going on there, and I know we haven't been covering a lot of what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, and sometimes I think when these things have it progress for a specific length of time, then other
get
matters
It's not
overtake it.
sensational
Yeah.
anymore, yeah.
Other matters overtake it. People are still dying.
Yeah.
People are still starving. People are still trapped. The war is still going on between Russia and Ukraine, and one of the latest things says that Russia test fires on new intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah.
So how does that register resonate in my mind? Not to calm. I'm not calm about this.
It's something that we have to be concerned about. I mean, the longer this war goes on,
Yeah.
you're talking about a longer recovery time and a more devastating impact on the
Yeah.
world economy. You're already seeing it in the cost of wheat increasing,
Fuel.
oil.
Mhm.
And so but like you said, as it progresses, people become desensitized to the fact that this
Because other
this is
matters
happening.
overshadow it as the time
Absolutely.
progresses.
And, the news cycle continues to progress and they pick up other things. But,
Mm.
this war in Ukraine continues to rage and we are hopeful that they can find a peaceful solution pretty soon.
Yep,
That diplomacy will somehow prevail because it's, the effects are so wide ranging and far reaching.
Correct is right.
Yeah,
Correct is right.
Yeah. And pray for peace in the world, folks. We need now more than ever, I think, to
Correct. Endorsed.
to pray for peace. And seek peace, because there's no good that can come of this.
There's nothing that is going to come but at this point in time, I think that we have exhausted our calls from this level for amicable solutions. We're just adding our voices basically to the millions of other voices. Persons right there in Russia is out there, and they're out there in the streets, and they're asking for it to stop and all of those things. So a lot of persons are showing their humanitarian side and that they have a heart for what is going on there. But there's a difference when the leaders that decides on other paths. So we take note, take note. And as we move forward in the trend, we did speak about the fact that the St. Vincent Prime Minister was tested positive for COVID. I think it was.
That's Antigua.
Antigua, yes.
The Grenadines, their Prime Minister, he's ill. He said he woke up with a pain in his side. And part of what was reported is that he was off to Venezuela and then perhaps he said possibly to Cuba for some medical checks. That's what we were following on that end with concerns. Ralph Gonzalez, he said, but the report that we're getting is that he's feeling pretty, he's doing well. That's what they said in the report. He's doing well. They didn't say specifically what is the ailment. He said he was getting a sharp pain to his side. And he was traveling to Venezuela to get medical attention and if possible to Cuba.
Well, actually, as you're going through this, I'm remembering that he was speaking about passing on the baton and all of those things. Recently, so a lot going on there. Politics could give you a lot of issues. I can tell you, when you're in the political arena, you see a lot of persons sick in politics is because they go through
sick in body, sick in mind. We got something
all together.
But you know what? Look, and let's stop for rain and talk for sun, as the old people say. For you to be effective politically, you have to be in peak physical shape.
Yes.
And that is something that I am discovering.
Yep.
Myself. I've had to
but
start
you've been
back
speaking about this.
I've had to start back my meditation, like make it a regimented part of your life, because this thing takes a toll on you. And because very many people don't stop to think that we have families, that we're human, that we need rest. It can take a toll on you. So you have to make a dedicated effort to take care of your physical self. So we wanna wish PM Gonzalez a speedy recovery, and may he recover from whatsoever it is that ails him.
Mind and body.
Yeah.
But on that note, Amanza, we're talking about leaders being in peak shape. But there's another part of the discussion too, because I can't remember what was the name of the book that I was reading, but it was talking about, for instance, a leader like Churchill. It said the broader thought was that some leaders stay too long, right? And the leader must know when to go, when enough is enough. And they said Churchill was a great wartime president, a great wartime prime minister, but he stayed too long and got bogged down with a lot of other stuff that kind of tarnished the reputation that he had. And that's one of the challenges here, that a lot of leaders don't know when to go. You have served.
You always leave
enough
at
time,
your
and-
peak.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a rule that you always leave at your peak. You do not allow yourself to stay around so long that you decline.
Yeah.
But again, power can be an intoxicating thing.
Power
Unless
corrupts.
you, an absolute power corrupts, absolutely. So unless you're a very well-adjusted human being and you do not allow yourself to be consumed.
Now, how much
with
is
the
enough?
power,
Yeah.
For some people, it's never enough. But again, it comes back to you as an individual. You have to have the fortitude to say, you know what, boy, I had a good run. It's time
I had a
now
good
for
run.
me to relax and play with
Yeah.
the grandchildren.
I think
Yeah.
That takes a particular level
Yeah.
of self.
Yeah. Nelson Mandela had it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nelson Mandela had it.
Yeah.
You never had to say Nelson must go and who must go.
And those
Right? He came, did what he had to do, and he left.
he left.
Yeah, but and because you see, he had a sense of what he had to do.
Well,
So
that's
he
my
knew
thing,
what he
exactly
had to
that.
do. So when it was accomplished, it was like,
Well, that's always my question, like how much is enough? And I always say that I don't understand how is it that person's like 30 years, 40 years, you still have you not created this pathway that you were able to accomplish something that you set out to accomplish? Like what was it? What was the issue? Because let's be factual when it comes to all of these things. As the years progress, timings change. What is what is utilized today wasn't utilized 10, 20, 30 years ago, and all of those things. So, you need to have persons that understand the systems more. I support balance, I can say that. And I respect institutional memory and all of those things. And I know that those things are absolutely necessary. But I think more conversations need to be had into safeguarding the future by surrounding yourself with young blood. And that's something that we were speaking about a little
completely
earlier with the
agree.
board.
No, I completely agree. You see, the issue is you have to have succession planning.
Yeah.
And what does succession planning look like for a nation?
Yeah.
We nationally are trapped in a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
Where every 5 years we break, we build, we break, we build. The nation will never progress like that. Similarly, in terms of leadership and so on and so forth, my philosophy has always been I'm never afraid to share information and to teach. I believe that you teach yourself out of a position.
Yeah.
So I'm never afraid that there's somebody who'll come and take my place.
Yeah.
Because if I share with you at this level and I've exhausted myself here, the only place for me to go is to the next level.
Yeah.
But of course, it requires a lot of introspection and a lot of self-work that's a little hard to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to look ourselves in the mirror and say, here I go.
Yeah, but it's crazy that you said that, because I was going through my own CV yesterday. I had to actually do a bio for someone. And I was going through my own CV, and I was saying that, look, these are the steps that I took in life. You started simple, you were in school, you're trying to throw your hands there, you come out of school, you go as far. I even started at the level of an accounts clerk, and then you go up to other things, you do market research, and then you exhaust yourself there, you go to real estate, you feel like you exhaust yourself at that level, and you keep moving up, and you keep elevating to the point and where I am right now, this is not where I am going to remain, and that is a fact that I know. So I have to make the impact that I need to make now. I have to have a plan that I make an impact, whatever it is, and I'm cognizant of the fact that I will not be able to do everything, so I'm just going to have a tunnel vision on accomplishing some specific things.
Yes.
And I think that's where people get carried away. They try to do too many things, so they wind up not being able to accomplish
being effective. But it's interesting that because I myself I did advertising for a while.
Yeah.
You had a lot of you had a lot of jobs. Like
Yeah.
I worked
Yeah.
when I was at university, you know, I didn't borrow the silver spoon in my mouth.
Listen, I did like
I
9
worked.
different jobs in
But
university.
and I'm like, this has nothing to do where I want to go
Yeah.
eventually. But you know what I realized? It had everything to do with the type of person that I would become when I get there.
Yeah.
Because there were things that I learned along
Every
the way,
single
Yeah.
way.
every area
Yeah.
that has shaped
Yeah.
Amanza as you see her today. So don't despise the days of small beginnings.
Even in politics, Sharon and I often share the fact that we did politics at university level, student body.
Paul one.
Yeah, no, actual running
Right.
Student
party
politics, yeah.
and going. I
Right.
contested against Sherrod.
Yeah,
Amanda
yeah.
don't know this. So we
And we
we
did
were
their
in
party
different.
very badly.
Y'all
Very
aging me
badly.
a little bit, man.
Very badly.
I wasn't on campus at that time.
Very
Y'all
badly.
are-
You came afterwards?
I came up.
Amanda,
Let's leave it
believe
right
it or
there.
not, I was in one party, Sherrod was in the other, Ganesh was in a different one. All three of us in 3 different parties, neck to neck
Fighting
in
each other
the
down.
election.
Amazing.
Fighting each other down.
And here you are now.
Yep.
Wow.
Then on to Sherrod and I both onto the local government system.
Yeah.
So it's so important that you
Yeah.
have these
Life is about
stages.
stages.
You
It
know,
is.
it's so important.
It is.
You know, some persons come. I was just talking to some of the guys in Bartik the other day. They were trying to get some assistance in how to go about applying for some stuff. And so I'm like, oh, that's not yard. You see, there's a tongue kong, so you gotta go to.
Right.
And why?
you
Because I've done it.
you-
I've
Stages.
done
you
it in.
understand it.
Stages.
Amazing.
Yep.
What's next?
Amazing.
Well, what's next is the fact that Caribbean Airlines is keeping their mask mandates on flight, even as the U.S. airlines lift requirements. You know,
Interesting.
Caribbean
interesting.
Airlines
I
is
still wear my
different.
mask. I still wear my mask.
Caribbean
Oh, I
Airlines
know that.
say that doesn't apply to them,
Yeah.
and they're saying despite a U.S. court ruling which makes
My
mask wearing
airlines, my airlines.
optional at U.S. airports and terminal buildings on board Caribbean Airlines flights, the mandate remains in place. You know, because Caribbean Airlines say, well, they're not going to be going by whatever that court ruling dictated for the U.S. But they have their own policies in place, so they're going to keep it.
I
Yeah,
don't see an
yeah.
issue
Yeah.
with them keeping the.
Another
Yeah.
part of what they said is that a lot of Caribbean territories too have mask
They
mandates.
do, and so
Yeah. So it's easier to comply.
to comply.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as you said, Amanda, there's no harm. I'm still very cautious too. You know, I go out, I got my mask still. I'll try that.
I usually do have my masks
Yeah.
with me.
Sanitizing, social
Yep,
distancing, and all of
yep,
that. I know some folks believe it's business as usual, but you know, I don't think there's any going back to the world as we knew it post.
This is a new normal. Like
It
Amanda
is a
said
new
it
normal.
oftentimes
It is
say
a
it.
new normal.
This is a
Yeah.
new
There's no
normal.
going back.
Yeah.
What is before that's in the past.
There is
you
that
know?
like I think when people do it, put on your mask, you feel like they can't see me, put on shades and a hat, and,
And
you go down the road.
go out.
You go
People
down the road.
recognize you anyway, Sharon.
Anywhere you
There's
go.
that.
Once you
there's
don't speak, eh?
that. There's that.
you know.
So yeah,
But on the local front, we're looking at the fact the mayor and city council spruce up Stabrook Market.
yeah.
You
Spruce
know?
to that.
You know,
Oh, Branch
so-
doing big things down there, man. Big things down there, Sabbath Market.
Yeah, well, the mayor, I saw yesterday a lot of work being done, and I believe that at one point in time, the mayor had to actually come out and make a statement that because some reports were basically false, saying that he was breaking down stalls and stuff like that, and it was nothing of the sort.
Mhm.
He was actually just removing things that were not supposed to be there and giving it basically a facelift altogether, cleaning up. And I said kudos to him, but he did make some statements in what the release that he had. He did say that he understands the plight of Guyanese and he protects the vendors and he makes sure that he is there and as basically a safety net for them. He would never do anything that is going to be harmful to them because he knows that he has to have to protect their bread and butter. And he further went on to say that he understands at this time in our country that persons have to be doing 2-3 jobs just to get by.
Yeah, make
You
a
know,
bread.
so basically very cognizant of the plight of the people that he's representing. And I say kudos to the mayor for the job well done. He continues to do his job well with exemption, and I believe that you know that he's genuine in what he sets out to do.
Well, the thing that I know about him is that he genuinely cares about people.
Yep.
And so once you start from there, it will flow logically. But we really do want to encourage, that it be done in an orderly manner.
Yeah.
And let's be very, very clear. people have a right to earn a livelihood. That is not in dispute. Vendors have a right to sell. What you don't have a right to do is to litter
Yeah.
and to have the environment in an untidy state. And so it is entirely possible. And this is where we have to begin to understand that it does not have to be a win-lose situation. That you can vend, but you can do it in a certain manner. And when you're done, you can clean up after yourself.
Correct.
And it leaves the environment and the city looking better.
Yeah.
So you can win-win. You can earn your living and we can have a clean environment. It does not have to be one at the expense of the other. And so that is the message that we need to constantly say to our vendors, yes, we will support you earning a livelihood, but let's do it in a manner that it betters the environment.
Yeah, it's a culture. It's a culture that we need to get away from. And we speak about this so many times right here. We say the same persons that litter right here in Guyana, by the time they reach the airport, they're finding bins to put their garbage in.
The bag. So we have to begin to respect our own.
Oh my goodness. So
we will support the vendors, but we will also insist that they vending in an organized manner.
Definitely.
There are some countries you go to, you will pass and there is a market there. And 1 hour later you would pass again and you would have no idea that there was just a bustling market there. Because of how well they clean up, and that is not beyond us as Guyanese. We can do it. We can do it.
Well, I was looking at this video in which there's this market right there at the train station, and when they hear the train whistle coming through, they would just pull down their thing, shift to the side, and the train goes through. And I'm thinking, Guyana's market. We their friends. We can't manage that. But I see one of the things that we're picking up that's going on locally right now. There's a female cops must treat domestic violence report seriously.
Correct.
Female cops, and this heading is most
male and female.
Yeah, but this heading is most interesting to me because, guys, for those of you who joined that particular morning program that we were looking at the pandemic of abuse, I spoke about the fact that that the protocol is, when you go to the police station, a woman goes to make a report about domestic violence or so forth. A female officer deals with her. A female officer then accompanies her to the police station, to the hospital, where the doctor writes up a report. And then the female officer herself has to write a report. And those two reports has to be attached with the woman's statement in the book. These are the processes before it can actually go to the court. This is a group of documents that actually being placed before the court. That file. And I was making a point that in the upper Mazaruni, middle Mazaruni rather, for example, that the police station there, because of the location, they're not getting females to go there. So there's a police station. I don't know if it's different now, but for a very long time there's a police station there without any female officers. Right? So you just imagine what is going on there and the level of discomfort rather that a woman would feel to go to that police station with pure men to report a case, and the fact that protocol could not be followed at this point because there's no females there. But I understand that the head in there, the female cop must treat domestic violence reports seriously, but I have to say that this is a matter that everybody needs to treat seriously.
But I can also understand the headlines given the protocol that you just outlined, because as a female victim of domestic violence,
you're supposed to go to a
point of interaction is with a female officer. So I understand that, because that interaction will form the basis of any future legal case. And so it's very, very important.
But a lot of people don't know. A lot of women don't know. And I think it's absolutely important that women understand the process, right? Because sometimes you believe that you could go to the police station and you make a report and they write up this report and you sign it and that's it. No, you have no case if that officer don't literally go with you to the doctor
Get
and for the
medical,
doctor to write up that medical report, and
absolutely.
then for that officer also to write
do
a
the
report, right? So there's so many little things that needs to be done, and at that point I have to say that I can agree with
Yeah.
that heading too, because the female officer need to know that they have to write that report
Right.
to put it in that
Right.
file so that that case can be
And
taken
so
to court.
maybe it points to the need for,
Yeah.
for an education drive
Yep,
in this
yep, yep.
regard. Because
Very much so.
this is an issue.
A
Very much so.
pandemic, as we
Very much so.
reported
Yeah,
prior,
yeah.
as
Yep,
a
yep.
pandemic on its own.
Yeah.
You know, and as
The
we can,
biggest.
um,
Are we there? Sorry.
we actually going to what
What
she
I love
said,
this part of the program.
right?
because-
I'm gonna let Cheryl take you through this
Yeah,
part, guys.
because actually picking up on a statement from an expert in the oil and gas sector, and what
Yes.
she said in particular, based on some stuff we're seeing out there as regards oil and gas, and we discussed, we've talked around this in this program right here, and we picked this up from Kaito News, yesterday's paper, and the header was Ghana will need more than updated laws and proper oversight for the oil to be the springboard for development. And this is Dr. Zainab Usman there. And part of what she said in this report out of Kaito News is that oil wealth does not guarantee high incomes. Angola, Indonesia, Nigeria are all among the world's top 20 oil producers, but they remain low middle income due to, in large part, due to their low rents per capita. And then secondly, attaining high income status from natural resources wealth does not always translate into improved human development outcomes. And we know that too acutely here, because we have all this opulence and money we're getting from oil and gas, but we don't necessarily see that always translating into better income, definitely not,
And
etc.
she's absolutely right. I mean, she is absolutely correct. Look, if we are going to ensure that the oil wealth for Guyana benefits all Guyanese, it will have to be a question of political will. Political leaders must want to ensure it. What we are seeing now is all of the benefits are being concentrated in the hands of a few. Look at it, and Doretta may be able to say the middle class is shrinking rapidly. And public servants don't have a livable wage anymore. And so we're looking very nice on paper, but the reality is in the midst of plenty, the majority of Guyanese are having a very hard time
Tough time.
making ends meet.
Tough time.
Yeah.
Tough time. I think the IRI report.
Yeah,
which
that
we
I
had
was
focused
just
on this
gonna
morning,
I was just gonna say that what Mansa is saying ties directly into the reports that are coming out, and some things that we need to be and things that we need to be focusing on very specifically. And I believe that you will see a lot of persons that frequently read the papers, and so you would notice the IMF and so forth would be given these lovely projections when it comes to the GDP projections moving forward and those things. And then, but I often say when you're talking about GDP, we need to look at the non-oil GDP as opposed to the oil GDP, you know, because it looks very nice when you look at the GDP when you include the oil GDP, but then what is happening in the non-oil sector and all of the agriculture, mining as it pertains to gold and diamond and all of those things, and you know, the fisheries, you know, the complaints of the fishermen, the fact that they were not able to close that deal with Suriname and all of those things. So those are specific things that you need to be looking at, because these things are the bread and butter for Guyanese families.
It comes down to political will, but I know, I can guarantee you what we will see happening. Public servants for the last 2 years have been treated with disdain.
Yeah.
But the PPPC will use it as an elections ploy. And I'm saying to Guyanese, I want you to remember that when you needed it the most, the PPPC government did not come through for you. They're going to begin to throw money at people
at the very end.
Leading up to elections.
Yeah, they're going to give it to the very end.
All of these years you are punishing, and then they're going to come because they're so disrespectful of the intelligence of
Correct is right.
Guyanese
Correct is
people.
right.
That, you just give them a little thing and they're going to do what they got to do.
Correct is
And,
right.
and Guyanese must resist that. And they must let them know that we haven't forgotten that when we were struggling and so on and so forth.
For years.
For years. I mean, can you imagine a loaf of bread is $300?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because this IRI report that we're going to focus on as part of a big issue today talks about how I think it was 38% of Guyanese said they're not making ends meet.
Correct.
38% of Guyanese, that's a large number, right? Who says they're struggling, they're finding it hard? 38%, and I think there are 81% talked about electoral change, electoral reform. They said 81% says they need electoral reform. 98% of the population, right, feel they're in the dark about the oil and gas sector. 98%.
But they're as accurate can be, and I think that number I would actually say should be 99.9%. Different polling and all of that. But I believe that we know for a fact when it comes to information on oil and gas and how the government is treating this is not something that anybody is aware of. As members of parliament, we have to beg for the information. And then you get the most ridiculous responses, the most ridiculous responses. We went through an entire budget period back in February, and minister after minister being asked a question, what projects would be utilizing the oil monies? That's not a question for me. That's not a question for me. That's a question for the finance minister. When we get to the finance minister, the finance minister basically didn't give an answer.
And look,
and still hasn't.
And you know what a lot of people do not understand and realize? That the opposition plays a very important role in terms of checking and balancing the government.
That's the whole
and
point.
When you deliberately take steps to weaken the opposition, you are heading towards creating either a one-party state or a failed state. And it is important for people on whichever side of the political divide you find yourself to understand that you don't want to live in a failed state. It ain't pretty. It's not something that you want to experience. You do not also want to live in a one-party state because it is not something that you want to experience. You just need to go research the hazards of that type of environment. And so the opposition plays an important role in terms of checking and balancing and making sure that there's transparency. And I always say that at the end of the day, good governance is never afraid of an opposition. When you are doing good governance and you're a government that is interested in transparency and in development, you invite scrutiny from the opposition because you know that you can stand up to that scrutiny. But you're seeing just the opposite from this present administration. And the only people that will suffer for it is the Guyanese people. If you're PPRP and CRAP and AFC, whichever one, you will feel the squeeze out.
And I'm glad you said that because we often say right here at this very table that if you look at a lot of the persons, especially persons like that were dependent on the sugar industry in that sector altogether, look at how they are surviving right now. They're punishing.
It's true.
They're punishing.
It is true.
Right?
It is true.
The fishermen, look at them. They're punishing. Right? So don't ever have this feeling, their supporters are doing better. There is a group, a very small group at the very top that is doing well. Right? The Guyanese generally punishing, suffering.
Yes. Their supporters even. And it's important for those people to know that it is okay for them to change their mind.
Yes.
It is okay for you to have a different opinion. And it is okay for you to decide, what? This government is not doing what I expected them to do. And it's okay for me to decide I'm not going to vote for them in the next elections. And we need to let people know that is okay.
That's okay. It's okay.
Because you and your children, you are entitled to a certain standard of living. You're entitled to a certain way of life. That all of this oil money can afford us. There is no reason why some of that money cannot be used to bring immediate relief.
38% of Guyanese said they're struggling.
To fisher folk who are struggling, to the rice farmers who are struggling.
People in
There is
absolute
no
poverty. Yep.
reason that money cannot be allocated. The truth is that they do not want to. The truth is that they prefer it to be the contracts for their friends. And as Joretta said, that small group at the top, hogging all of it, whilst you and your families have to live on crumbs.
Guyanese need to wake up and know that they have the power to change this. You know,
Absolutely.
the people need to
We
understand
say it
that they
every
have the
day.
power
We
to
say
change
it
it.
every day.
When is it enough? When is it enough? When do you get to the point? You know, I want to have this frank discussion with persons, especially that you have these cane cutters, and then when is it that you get to a point that you think I deserve better than this life?
We say
You
it
know,
here- we
when
say
is it that you
here
get to the
all
point that you say
time.
that, you know, these guys come in and they saying XYZ, but at the end of the day, when you're back against the wall, they're in a nice AC room with a vehicle and the security surrounding them, and you are here thinking that you don't have anything to feed your
Yeah, you have to
children.
decide if you're gonna buy
Right?
your medication or you're gonna
Yep.
feed your children.
Run for your life.
My goodness.
You know,
My goodness.
But this poll that the IRI did brought out a lot of things, and I think it's a point springing off of what Joretta just said that we have to keep hammering home. You look at other countries when people are fed up,
Yeah.
they get out there and they express their
Yep.
disgust. Guyanese seem to be a little bit more laid back in terms of accepting what has
I think
happened.
some
We have to change that
people get
culture.
frustrated. People get frustrated, guys. You can agree or disagree at this
And
point
we
in
want
time.
you to
You can pull up
weigh in.
the comment
We want
section
you to
to see
weigh
what
in
is
on
going
this
on.
because I think this is what the whole issue turns on. Because when people look into Guyana,
Yeah.
they don't see people who are upset about anything.
Yeah.
And
You
a huge
understand?
percentage of persons too believe that don't trust the election results.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so it comes back to the question of legitimacy, of credibility.
Mm.
And this is what we've been saying all along. And it is borne out now that the majority of Guyanese do not believe that the government is legitimately there. But again, the question has to be asked: how do Guyanese legitimately demonstrate their discontent with what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people have to begin to stand up and to speak up. A handful of us, we can't do it all the time.
Yeah.
We can't do it all.
Yeah.
We need the support of people. And if you look at these countries, you look at Peru and these other countries, and the people are not happy.
We know.
They
make it
very,
known.
very clear that they are not happy. We seem a bit more laid back, and that may be something that we have to confront because we have to actively build this country.
Yeah.
And it will not happen if we allow bad policies, bad government to just run
People,
roughshod.
I think persons show a lot of characteristics of people that are beginning to lose hope. And I believe that is something that we need to address frontally. We can't have persons losing hope that they will be given they will be given opportunities for a better life. And a lot of times when you see that, even at the polls, it would start reflecting things like that when persons start just don't even being interested in going to cast a vote, because at some point in time people begin to lose hope. But I am saying I have to mention the fact that I always commend persons who are speaking out.
Yes.
You see Crabman come, he speak out. And I said, kudos to you. The fishermen speak out. I said, kudos to them. Rice farmers protest. I said, kudos to them. Everybody speak out. They have to continue. That's the only way that you're going to guarantee that there is hope for change and betterment in the future. Because once you become more so, I think,
accepting,
disinterested
Accepting,
altogether. In the process, we're in a very dangerous place.
And you make an interesting point, because my question has continuously been, how do we continue to get the younger people in particular interested in their politics? I have no difficulty with entertainment and with shows and so on, but we have to be careful that they're not being used as a distraction mechanism.
Yeah.
To take our minds
There's
off
a whole lot of
the
discussion.
bigger developmental issues.
There's a whole lot of discussion all by itself.
Because we will be distracted, and by the time we look around, we will realize that, you know what, things have gone farther than we we had expected.
Yeah, you take.
I want to say something, but I'm having
The-
two minds about what about my statement right now.
The new road that's open, the access road. When you take a drive down that road, there's a lot happening on both sides, right? And the average person who going to party has to think when they drive down there, how much of that concerns me?
How much of that is in the hands of Guyanese?
Yeah, how much of that concerns me?
How much of that is in the hands of Guyanese? And so these are the deeper, more pressing issues that we as a
We have to
society have to confront
Yeah.
and concern ourselves
Yeah.
with.
Yep.
We gotta confront and concern ourselves with.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
keep saying that if I am entitled to, I will use a Lamborghini deliberately. If I am entitled to a Lamborghini because of the circumstances and the place in which I was born, entitles me to that. When I'm given a bicycle, I do not subscribe to this thing or be thankful that you get a bicycle. No, I do not subscribe to that.
Yeah.
My birthright is a Lamborghini, and that is what I want.
Yeah. You know, I want to add at this point in time, Sharon actually made a very interesting point to me one day, and it's kind of stuck
Sharon
with
is
me.
it.
You know, it kind of stuck with me. Sharon says a lot of things that sticks, right? But I can tell you that this one particular thing he said, when a baby is born, they have this instinct that there should be equity and balance. He said, look at children, they're little and they're playing. Oh, why you get more food than me? Why this one get 2 crayons and I get 1? You know, they question these things. It is society that grooms a child into believing that it is okay for you to be satisfied with something whilst looking at
less,
other persons get more, you know, and it's something that we got to cut out.
Absolutely.
Right? So we have to cut it out.
That's an amazing
Yeah.
point.
Children has this innate thing. This innate thing. They say, yeah.
Instinctively
Yeah.
and intuitively.
Yep.
How come
You tend towards
equity
towards
and
balance
fairness and
equity.
and
Yeah.
justice?
You know, I think that we as a people have to begin to agitate.
Yeah.
We can't stay silent no longer. This is what we are entitled to. This is the land of our birth.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
all of the places
Yeah.
that we could have been born, we were born in Guyana.
Yep.
One of the most resource-rich nations in the world.
Yeah.
There is no reason that we should be living in squalor. There should be no reason.
Living as tenants.
Look at there are women who gotta go do security work in the night, leaving their children home and vulnerable.
Yeah.
It does not have to be so, but it is so because the people allow it. The people allow it. In other nations, man, if Canada had to get yourself together a very long time.
Unfortunately, that's our time, folks. Unfortunately,
Oh my
we
goodness.
need more time for these discussions, but we'll have other days, guys. We'll have other days, and we're so grateful to have people like Doreen Clark and Colin Moore. Not people like Parashram Kishore, not folks like that. Sheila Boyd Child and Laverne Joseph. Talk to Kishore for a minute, man. Kishore roll out this morning. He hop out this morning.
Parashram,
Parashram.
Kishore is just bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. There's no helping people like Kishore unless they realize that there's a better way.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Right, Kishore can-
he has been conditioned into that rhetoric.
Actually-
And there are people who just are intent to keep Guyana backwards, and Kishore is one of them.
I don't I
Yeah.
think it's probably a little different because
different?
what I do know, even persons that come on this program that's struggling, they just come and they watch and they listen. Even if they voted for the PP administration, they come, they watch, they listen. When you see people trying to be as defensive for the administration,
For the
as
indefensive.
for he is, you know,
Defending the indefensible.
right? Basically, right? Trying to justify the unjustifiable
But
and those
Kishore,
things,
we
right?
got
When you
Kishore,
see that,
we see you,
yeah.
but you know, we do not feed into you.
But I'm not even dealing with that person
We're not
directly.
dealing
I'm
with
talking
it.
holistically.
Yeah.
Holistically, when you see persons try to defend it because they are on the receiving end of a benefit. All right? And I'm saying,
Or
yeah.
the cognitive dissonance is so great
Yeah.
that they can't bring themselves to say,
Yeah.
like, really?
I can tell you who's not gonna be like that. Somebody who got to wake up in the morning, watch the children, and don't know what they're feeding them for breakfast.
Absolutely.
That person's not going to be like that.
Absolutely.
And guess what? That's thousands of Guyanese right now.
Hundreds of thousands.
Right?
I
But
Right
you know,
now.
I think the challenge
Hundreds
is
of thousands.
we gotta, whenever you watch a show like this or any other show, you gotta
Mhm.
fathom it in your head. Are they right? That's the question I think you have to ask.
Mhm.
Are they right?
Mhm.
But what they're saying,
Yeah.
are they right?
But that requires a level of
Yeah.
open-mindedness.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that
Kishore ain't
people-
listening.
People are afraid to
You hear him,
have.
but he ain't listening.
You see, if Kishore should listen to us
We
with
should
an
go out.
open mind, he
Yeah.
will have to confront
Yeah.
some very harsh truths.
Yeah.
And to do that requires some strength to carry.
Yeah.
And that is why
Yeah.
when we come,
He would start
right,
meditating every
that's why
morning.
we like to rely on credible sources.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't come on our own side. We said this is what the IRI, an
It's
independent, right? The what do you call it? The Republican Institute,
Yeah,
the International Republican Institute
Yeah.
came and did some scientific surveys and so on, and they came
Yeah.
up with a report. I'd be happy. I know y'all be happy if we had 5% of persons who said they're struggling, they can't make anything. It's 38%, according to the IRA report.
Mm.
That is not us.
Yeah.
98% of the population says they're in the dark with the oil and gas. This is not up to AFC saying that.
Mm.
That is the International Republican Institute, who a lot of people felt favors the current administration.
Yeah.
They're just putting it out there, right? A large percentage, 81%, said that they don't believe the
I think we need to
results coming out of GCOM.
tag Kishore in the
And-
comments
Right?
on
You
the
gotta read.
report.
That's what we said for our fix. We have to
Because
read.
it's not our report, Kishore. That's
Yeah.
not our report. That's not the
Over
AP and
days, I
UASC
think,
report.
guys, we will probably be continuing to put those poll results out
Yeah, we
there
have
Yeah.
to.
so that people understand.
You gotta dissect it.
That this is not, this is
We've been
Joretta-
putting it out. We've been
This
putting it
is
out.
Joretta baby right
Yeah, that's
here,
my
numbers
fear.
and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. Me not so
Strange
much.
enough. I just go past the words. I go straight to the
Straight to
graph.
the numbers.
The numbers.
There you go. There you go.
We've been putting it out.
And let's continue to bring to the people what that means, because we need to wake up
Mm.
Guyanese. And let me tell you the truth, a lot of these people like Kishore and them living in Guyana, you know,
Oh wow.
and then queen somewhere in some basement,
Or being paid,
probably
being
being
paid,
paid to troll.
you know, the troll is
Because
on.
they cannot be living here and say
And
those,
defend it.
those types of nastiness when they know and they will be seeing how Guyanese
Yeah.
people are struggling.
Yeah.
Mm.
But good
So
to see,
guys,
good to see Osmond Hodge and Sandra Raphael and Erica
Erica.
Hooper. Yep.
Rowena Cummings. Hey, Rowena. Rowena is a faithful.
Yeah.
Always there.
But
Always
you
there.
know,
Faithful
to our credit, and I have to say this, what the IRI poll actually, the results of that poll, what it actually showed is that what we've been saying all along is absolutely
It's
correct.
absolutely correct.
This is a validation of what we've been saying, every single last
And
thing
that's
they
what
said.
makes it-
Absolutely.
Right?
That's what
Absolutely.
makes it Kishore.
You see,
Oh.
there's
Partially.
things about facts and figures and numbers.
Yeah.
Facts are stubborn
They
things.
can't facts. Stubborn thing called facts.
Yeah.
So, guys, we want to thank you for joining
Yeah.
us, Maxine
Yeah.
Monroe and Sherlana Beresford.
And Donna Liverpool,
Donna Liverpool,
Shirley
Erica
Crichton.
Hooper. Thank you
All our
guys for
favorite.
joining
the
us.
family.
Paulette. We
Hockey
couldn't do this.
pins.
We couldn't do this without
Yeah.
you guys.
They made a
And so
difference.
Sharon will walk us through the number of ways that you can give back to these programs. You know, we have the affiliate program in the ring.
Mhm.
We have
Mhm.
credible
Believe it or not.
sources.
Yeah.
And then
Website.
we have the midday podcast.
Mhm. Below the belt.
Below the belt. And so we are on a quest to bring you credible information.
Yeah.
That's
And
all.
this is 100% powered by
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
And
Unless
so-
Kishore don't like it, you can have your own show.
Yes, Kishore
And
could-
put forward your
Kishore could
credible
have
valid
it.
show.
Or Kishore, you could feel free to donate so that you could have an outlet. You could come on here
Yeah.
and cuss and so on.
Yeah.
We have the facts, and
Yeah.
we'll be happy to.
Yeah. And that's
share those facts with you.
our Friday program, because we ask people
to call in.
to call in or to
But
send your voice
so he
notes,
can
which is more
actually call
efficient.
in
We
and send a
always say,
voice note.
You don't have to agree with us.
Yes.
You don't have to agree with
You
us.
see this, and this is where healthy discourse comes in.
Yeah.
We don't have to agree,
No.
but we can do it without being disagreeable, and we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at all times, healthy debate is good for
Mm.
us. It's
Correct.
good for national development.
We want to hear
So-
the other side.
Absolutely.
We wanna hear from you.
absolutely. So, guys,
We got
partner with
PayPal,
us.
we got
Send
Zelle,
them.
we got MMG, we got you can get us via MoneyGram, via Western Union. Number of things: Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. Folks, you want to know how? You need some more guidance? 627-6963 is our MMG number. It's also our WhatsApp number
Yes.
627-6963. We give you some guidance how you can contribute to our programs to keep us out here, keep us going.
Yes.
That's it.
Whatever.
So go out there and have a great
Whatever
day.
Sharon
Yeah,
just said,
yeah,
so that you
yeah.
can
Go out
invest in
there,
a bigger
have a
table.
great
Yeah,
day.
yeah, one big table.
Have a
Ka-ching,
wonderful
ka-ching.
day.
Just at 2 feet. Just at 2 feet.
Awesome. Thank you guys for
Okay,
joining us this morning. And just remember to go out there, make
Yep.
it a great day. God bless you and stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day, guys. And you know what you have to do? You make sure that you take a little bit of rest and be back at 12 noon for Below the Belt, and
Below
then
the belt.
8 p.m. for In the Ring. And of course, we're going to be back with you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for more of FYI for your information. So until
Pimpin'.
then, see you all.